me try this one.
And we're live. And here we are with
back.
Jimmy. And we were just talking about tumbleweeds before we started here.
Yeah, we were going into that Western show. Let's not get into tumbleweeds right now, Festa.
All right, cousin It.
Well, we've been gone for a long time.
We're finally back.
There we go. There's the crowd.
Jimmy found a new app on his phone.
Yeah, it's called Obnoxious.
Well, guys, we're back. We've been gone for a month.
Yeah, people thought we left. We went to the better side of, where could we go?
Well,
Jamaica, Bermuda.
We'll take the blame of that.
You can see, look at the tan that Kevin has.
Oh, yeah, it's a barroom tan. And here's Jimmy, and here's his project. This thing.
Okay, pull out. I want to tell him thank you for being patient. Me and Kevin were traveling in our RV. We're gone for months.
And by the way, where is that extra XX T-shirt? I was there shirt. You know?
I got one. I should. You and your T-shirts. I know you like to buy you something back. Man.
I could. You know what? That's what you should do. The next time you guys go someplace, get a T-shirt from a different part. You know?
Did.
I've been at Maine. You know.
I would have got one for you. But I forgot. You and your shirts. You love your shirts.
Oh well, I got to have a few for the gym. I mean.
Exactly. But yeah, so we're back, guys, and we're back to business here. And here's Randy. Here's Malcolm.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys, for the support.
These guys stuck with us.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to a customer. Sometimes you wonder where the value is in the things you do with the time that you put in. And Randy, Malcolm, and you guys who own the shop, I would encourage, and I think our friend down in Birmingham, Alabama, or down whereabouts, started a YouTube channel. I don't mind. I think it's flattery when somebody imitates, right? Imitation is flattery.
Yes, always.
So a couple came in, and we were talking about the YouTube, and I was talking about how we started with Patrick. How old were you? 8 years old, Patrick, when we started this?
YouTube, no.
YouTube. How old were you?
2011.
Well, you were
18.
Young. You were younger.
13 years ago.
I thought you were even younger than that.
No, we did other videos, not
We
YouTube.
did other videos. We weren't that serious. We were
Upholstery.
goofing around. We did one where I had all these cushions piled up, and I had a string, and at the right time I pulled it, and all the cushions fell on me, and it
was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Well,
You're not even a graduate of the Larry Curly School of Comedy. I mean, come on.
But then we started realizing that people were relying on the videos. I've mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again. So we got a little serious. We got more serious, and as we went around.
Are you sure about that?
Well, then Jimmy came on board, and then the ship kind of.
Oh yeah, the ship kind of went down to like the Titanic for a while. That works.
And the iceberg wasn't spotted until it was too late, and then now we can't get rid of Jimmy. He's here.
Oh well.
Jimmy is the iceberg for the YouTube channel, that flat iceberg and that flat surface.
Yeah, I steady the ship out. Yeah.
I hope he keeps coming once his project's
I do
done,
too. You know what? I was giving Jimmy a compliment on this one. We'll talk a little bit about this sofa behind us. Jimmy is probably the most patient person in the world because he's actually, we've had a couple of issues with not showing up, and we've had a flood last week in the shop, and we had scheduled last week to do this, and we couldn't because I had a water heater broke at the shop, then my neighbor's basement. It's one of the things that can happen, and I had to cancel. But Jimmy, how many times has made his own schedule to accommodate us? This would not be possible if it wasn't with somebody like Jimmy, and I wanted to thank him live to tell him. I mean, he's going to help so many people in the future. Maybe in the year 3000 they'll be talking about Jimmy, saying, "Who is this man?" But they wouldn't. Who is this man in the cape?
Yeah, the memorabilia will be like out there in display. We'll all make some money on it. Trust me, guys.
But anyhow, we've been showing Jimmy hand stitching. He was demonstrating hand stitching on this sofa that we're going to be making available. When, Patrick? When do you anticipate?
Couple of weeks.
Oh, this is not as long as we thought, which is good.
Well, yeah, but there's editing. You've got
there's going to be a lot, but yeah.
How many lessons is this right now?
Yeah.
10?
By the holidays.
It's going to be a good project because this project is a manufacturer. It had all kinds of issues, Jimmy, as you know. And Jimmy was getting frustrated.
You know what? It's definitely an eye-opener because if you're used to having an older piece of furniture like a wingback or anything else, and you've done work with it, the style of manufacturing carpentry, I'm going to say, some real skill with the framework. This was man-made. This was, a
But this was
factory.
not made to be reupholstered.
Right.
We used to use a company called State Parlor Frame in Roxbury here in Boston, and they were expert with upholsterers specifically. They made furniture for upholsterers, so they had all the pull where you need to pull it, all the rails set up properly where
Right.
it needs. But this didn't have one of those pull rails.
Nothing.
So I would say that it didn't come out as good as I would have liked, but there were reasons for that because of that. But that was the main reason. But it also,
Well, you
there
see
wasn't
the
much
difference.
wood to staple in, right?
No,
Julie?
you think you're going to be stapling. It's like, wait a minute, there's nothing here. What is going
And
on?
it leads me into Randy's got a question up there that I want to talk about. I'll show
Go.
you a picture. No, not. I don't. You want to talk about that now, Patrick? Randy's question.
Yeah,
Yes.
do his because not a YouTube one.
He has an MGM. Can you get that up there?
Is
Can
it on Facebook?
It's on you. It's on the email. Want me to get it up on my phone?
Just read it from the email.
Oh, first of all, I just want to on the lighter side. Jimmy's always talking about tumbleweeds. And this is hanging off a store here in
Is that
Maine,
a
Massachusetts.
tumbleweed? What do you think? It just like you're going to get out more often.
Jimmy says that that's not a tumbleweed, but I think it
For
looks
all you
like
people
one.
in the horticultural field, the landscaping field, please help this man. Send him a catalog.
I thought it was a tumbleweed that got stuck.
You haven't been watching too many episodes of Gunsmoke. I can tell you that.
There's Randy's project. Good luck, Randy. He says, should I run away from this or not? I would run if you were going to do the faux leather again or leather. Forget about it. But if you're doing fabric, he's saying that the only wood portion of this is on the bottom, Patrick, where the swivel unit's probably attached to. Everything else.
You avoid those, I know.
Well, I can do these. I've not avoided. I would do them as long as it's fabric.
Yeah.
As long as it's fabric. I mean, these are kind of cool looking chairs, Jimmy. They're really nice looking chairs.
Yeah, I would love to be like the person to help him with that.
But you want to talk about manufactured pieces. That's a
Yes,
manufactured piece.
yes.
So it's got, styrofoam or whatever it is that they use. So, Randy, what I would do, definitely fabric. What I've done with these in the past is I've done the inside, so all the insides up. And you can staple somewhat into that. You can get some staples in there. Some people actually use adhesive in the staples so they don't pop back out. But the idea here is when you put that in, you need to hand stitch the outsides. That's all you do is hand stitch the outside, but it has to be a fabric. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't avoid it. I would get enough
I would love
money
to
for
see
it.
it. You know what? I hope he does pictures just step by step to see how he
I would like to see his progress. I think Randy has developed a really good skill. Malcolm, I know, has developed a good skill. They all, hopefully we have a little bit to do with that, Jimmy.
Well, more you than me, but yes, absolutely.
Any questions
Yeah.
or comments or anything yet, Patrick? Because I'll get to these if we're all done here.
Well, Malcolm said in the year 3000 we'll all be sitting on molded plastic.
Probably, maybe with a little bit of foam to that.
And no more comfort.
We'll all be 5 foot tall with big eyes and no hair, right, Jimmy?
Well, speak for yourself.
Wait a minute, we're already almost there. So you want to talk a little bit more about the trials or tribulations of a manufactured upholstered piece, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, for me, it was, again, kind of a bit of an eye-opening experience because of the fact that, again, man-made doesn't necessarily mean that it's, carpentry skills. There is very little to it. It's all basically planned out. Whether it's this piece of couch or whether it's even a sectional, it's all planned out. The pieces are together, boom, boom, a few screws, a lot of staples, and I think given how people love to upholster furniture, especially if you have an older piece, it ends up, your own, and you get a better learning experience versus with an older piece of furniture versus like a modern piece of furniture, which you said from the get-go.
I think all of our videos, with the exception of this one, traditional furniture or or solid-made contemporary furniture that's made well. Usually that falls under the upholstered pieces, Baker, Henderson, things like that. Crate and Barrel's good. Those brand names. I hope we can use those names, Patrick. But those are examples of good, furniture still made. I mean, they still make proper frames today, brand new. You just have to search them out, I think, a little bit more. This furniture here, though, because the price points are so low in the beginning, I don't think too many people who are used to paying what they paid for this, they probably paid, what, $9.99 for this? If that.
Yeah, probably.
So they're not going to pay me $2,800 labor 3 times the amount just on the labor.
Well, I think, you know, with the older pieces of furniture, again, be it a chair or otherwise, you know, people see the history to it, and I think that's what kind of grabs everybody. This was my grandmother's. This was in my living room as a child growing up, and you want to keep it. And you know what? You know, you try to probably debate to a point. Do I really want to keep this? But I think, you know, I'd like to believe that when people have something that's been in the family for a couple of generations, that you want to kind of keep it that way.
Yeah. Do you want to read these YouTube
Sure.
comments? You're good at reading, and then I'll answer if I can.
Yeah, the Evelyn Woodhead speed reading.
You can skip over the negative ones, like Colin Patrick
Who is
said,
this guy?
Who's this big loser?
Do we have
Don't
that?
read that one.
Let's see. Do you want all the thank yous or just some of the questions?
You can read them all.
All right. Well, this one's from Heather 747 3 months ago. You guys are really.
Oh.
My God, is she still around? Heather, thank you.
Hopefully.
So for watching. This is fixing a popped button for free. So well done. You just saved my ottoman from the fire.
There we go.
Let's see. The second one is Ray Yerk 8065. Again, 3 months ago. This is the how to use and choose trim. So thank you for the tips on applying the edge trim.
That was a little old. That was an older one, Patrick. I think that video.
Yeah.
Really?
And so what we learned, you guys want to reference that? We talk about GIMP. You know, GIMP. The trims would be decorative nails with GIMP, GIMP by itself, double welting, single welting at times. I think that's about it. I might be missing something there, but that's.
Okay, this one's from Cavalier 821. Again, 3 months ago. How to pick the right cushion. Hi, thank you for making this video. I bought the 2.8 density foam sheet and put some Dacron around it. I find it super comfortable with very good support. Now I am considering my back cushions and thinking whether I should do the 2.6 density 35 ILD. What is that?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend foam and Dacron on the back. The best recommendation for a back cushion that I have, and it's a little pricey, is 50/50 down feather. That's the best cushion.
Really?
In my opinion.
Do people use a firm back cushion?
No. And you know, seating is one of the things in upholstery that's really difficult. I think you guys can, you upholsterers out there can vouch for this. I have a job now, an ongoing cushion problem, you know, with the customer. I'm not saying she's very nice, and she's not being difficult, but she had a springing down cushion that she didn't like, which I always recommend is the best cushion. She does have some physical difficulties.
Okay.
I'll only say that. And she sleeps on this sofa.
Oh.
So what she's done is, and she practically lives on the sofa. She's worn out one side. The springs are down. So she insisted on an all Dacron cushion, and an all Dacron cushion is not a good idea for a seat cushion. So I recommended the high density foam, the 2.8, and a Dacron wrap, and she's not happy. So I've been out.
Can you
out there.
Can you mix the down feather with foam to make it all?
You can, but I don't recommend that.
Why not?
Because it bottoms out. That bottoms out very quickly.
What do you mean?
Bottoming out, even on a high density foam, the Dacron, the down wrap tends to bottom out, even when people forget to rotate too. They forget to rotate in a timely manner. So the foam tends to bottom out just slightly, and it contours to the bottom of the seat. So that's why I recommend springing down in the seats, because the springs are always bouncing back.
Oh, okay.
So
the next one is how to pick the right Oh, we already went through that one. Sorry.
We're going to give a lot of information this time, because I'll just interrupt you for a second. The last one we did, we had a lot of fun, Patrick, and we were joking along a lot.
No, we didn't answer any questions.
And somebody commented, "Is this an upholstery program or is this a comedy program?" So today we could throw a little comedy afterwards, but we're going to be real serious. I'm going to try to give a lot of information.
You know, you guys have been. I could say you guys have been slacking, but I don't want to say that right now. So there you go.
So I'm getting into a lot of detail. What,
Before we
Patrick?
continue, as we catch up on here, because so Randy says, never gave stitching the outsides a thought. All of a sudden, this seems doable. Thank you.
Thank you. And make sure, Randy, we showed this on this little, Randy, these little tips that we show on this, even though I wasn't 100% happy with the way this came out, and no offense to Jimmy, or it's because of the piece, was that we showed a little tip. It's funny he should mention this with this chair. And the tip that I had you do with the Dacron or cotton or any batting that you use to recess it a little bit from where you're stitching, Randy, really important, to take that batting that you put on the outside and bring it back a little bit, about a half inch or 3/4 of an inch, so that your needle and thread don't pick up. The worst thing is to have it pick up with the cotton or the batting or Dacron, whatever you use. So when you're putting that MGM together, make sure that you take some time. And Jimmy, can you just show Randy that side there? We're in the process of pinning this to get it ready to hand stitch. It's just the first pinning. If you can just move away a little bit, Jimmy, for Randy to see. So we've got upholstery pins in this. What I'm going to have Jimmy, what we're going to do is really get this even more. This is the first pinning. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to repin this so that it kind of contours over here nicely. It's nice down here, but we're going to do a better job up here. And Jimmy is really getting good at hand stitching, and you'll see that.
I need the work, man. You're going to put me back to that shop. Forget about
you can sit down again, Jimmy. So I'm glad, Randy, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's timely with this. Okay, what's the next
There's
one?
more. So Malcolm says, professional reupholstery, cheap furniture, hasn't been something anyone will pay. Hasn't been something anyone will pay my shop rate for. I try to find out what the customer paid for the items. I don't waste my time.
And Malcolm, as you know, there's no way to speed up. This stuff takes time. I mean,
I think it takes more time, because you got to.
It takes more time. That's right, Jimmy. Because each piece has to be put on separately. I mean, it's not like magic where you just throw the fabric on and it's done.
Well, I mean, you look at the different size, even wingback chairs. We all still know the basic structure of that. There were sometimes, I mean, I did have one where it was. The sides were, I guess they did do some carpentry, but that was...
Wing chairs take the longest, because there's 4 more pieces in a wing chair than an average chair. You got inside wings and outside wings, so you've got more time in a wing chair. Okay, it's got the next one.
There's more.
Okay.
So Randy says, what do you get for a typical labor on a typical cushion that's 24, 26 by 4?
Box cushion with piping, Randy? A waterfall cushion?
They didn't mention
a cushion with no piping? A tufted cushion with buttons? Yeah. I'm just teasing him a little bit. I know what he gets. $125 for a basic cushion like that. And then if it has buttons and things like that, more money.
Okay.
But $125, $150, people balk at that. But when you think about it, Randy, cutting it and
stitching it
and the zipper, you do have to buy some supplies with the cushion. You're into it for about, I'll tell you a funny story after this, but you're into it for at least 1 or 1.5 shop hours, $80 an hour. You're up to $120, so there you go.
Right.
Now I'm trying out new people stitching. I got a lovely girl. She's a very nice girl, and she's pretty good. I mean, she's got a home machine. So I gave her a cushion. I was just testing her out to see how she was. She did a good job, but the pricing was all wrong. So I gave her the cushion. I said, here, do this cushion. Just duplicate this cushion. And I didn't say anything. So, okay. She had a couple of questions while she was doing it. Okay. She brings it back. It looks okay. And she's got a bill for me for $180. And what she did was she did a good job taking it apart. She charged me for taking it apart.
I want to go to Bernice.
So what she did a good job, but she needs to get faster, and I have some ideas for her and how she can speed up and her billing. Her billing can't be 25% over what I'm getting. It doesn't work that way, Right. So is there another question?
Last one for now. Elliot says, I'm redoing a sofa. The deck is 60 inches across and the back is 72 inches. What's the best practice? Making 2 seams in the cover towards the outside, or 1 seam down the middle?
Read that again, Patrick.
So I'm redoing a sofa. The deck is 60 inches.
Yeah.
The back is 72. What's the best practice for making 2 seams in the cover towards the outside, or 1 seam down the middle? Striped fabric that is 54 inches and 9 inches repeat.
It's dependent on how many cushions there are. I think I know what he's asking. He has to match seams up to cushions. If that's what he's asking, if you have 3 cushions, you want the seam to be right where the cushion breaks are. That looks okay. Ideally, you want a railroadable fabric. I try to avoid this problem by telling people you must have a railroaded fabric. And somebody called about a stripe today with cushions. I said, it's not a good idea if you don't like seams, go to a. So I recommend geometrics, which can run any way, or solids. When you're talking about sofas and long, but if you've got the stripes already picked out, there's another. We used to, cut the welt on the bias and highlight the seams to make it look like, wow, look at that beautiful seam with the cut bias stripe. It really looks kind of sharp on older traditional like Art Deco furniture. We used to do that. We have an Art Deco sofa belonging to John Belushi at the shop, which we need to find out what we're going to do with because it's been there since before COVID. But anyhow, getting off subject a little bit. So I would line it up with the cushion breaks. That's the short answer. Any other thing?
Elliot says 2 cushions.
Oh, it has 2 cushions.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a middle seam. It's a middle seam. I wouldn't put seams on the end with the cushion with 2 cushion. I would be in the middle. Yeah. Is that it, Patrick?
Yeah, Randy and Malcolm are actually helping each other out. It's good to see.
Oh, good.
So that's good.
Good. That's what we want. Live. We want live chat.
Yeah.
Right, Jimmy?
Yeah. Then
we don't want tumbleweed.
Then we
talk.
want happy hour. We want happy hour right after, baby. So
Jimmy's correcting me about tumbleweeds. Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna get you a catalog. We're gonna get you a catalog on that. Well, actually, who was that? Who was that man from National Geographic? I can't think of his name. I'll text you tonight if I think of it.
All right, Jimmy.
How to upholster a 1986 antique chair restoration. This is from Omenath?
One of our foreign
yes,
viewers.
I'm sorry. You're a
That's all
good
right.
upholstery worker I like
that.
because I am also a sofa maker upholsterer.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. That's a good compliment.
Let me get down to some of that. Okay, another thank you from Abigail Singleton on the how to fix a pop button. Another thank you.
So
for
we
that.
did 2 videos on pop buttons, Jimmy.
Right.
One was with a German needle with the clasps. Say that 10 times faster. Clasps.
Clasps.
That is used to you inject that into it's a professional way of doing it. You inject that in with the 2 twines coming out around a little hole in the clasp. So you end up with 2 twines, a nylon twine, very specific, you guys. You can't use anything other than the nylon white twine that we use.
Okay.
That comes out through the hole, and the button's loose, probably somewhere to your right or your left. You have 2 ends, and the idea is you get the twine to run freely around that clasp, around the hole of the clasp, and you have hooked onto something, hopefully, in the sofa. And then you have 2 lines. You pull one a little bit longer, and you thread the button, and then you make a slip knot, and then you pull it to the tension of the other buttons. Then you tie it off, you trim it up, and you hide the 2 twines underneath the button. So what we did was we devised, Patrick. This was a good one, right? We get a lot of comments.
That went to the top of our most popular video.
So how many people? You got a German needle on you, Jimmy? You got that?
Oh, yeah.
Right. How many people have a German needle?
Yeah,
All
what
right.
is that? Let's make a deal. I got a German needle off for $50. I mean, remember that?
So we devised a system, Patrick, right, where you can use something. Tools. You guys check out the video from the drawer in your kitchen drawer. Any kitchen drawer would have the tools that you need. There you go, Jimmy.
God, you talk a lot.
Well, we're trying to get a lot of information because we want people to learn.
This
right?
is from Steve Taylor, a couple of months ago. The Bentwood Rocker Restoration Part 1. Where is Part 2? Did you guys put that up?
I don't know, Patrick. That's Patrick's
That's
position. I'm not
Bentwood
sure.
The Bentwood Rocker.
I have to say sometimes
that happens where the piece gets
because the
taken to the
customer's
customer.
waiting. I mean, these are customers' pieces sometimes.
Yeah, right. But
A lot of times.
Here's the thing. I can only say that quality control should be on top of it.
Yeah, I know, and I apologize if there isn't a part 2. We do apologize because that's probably what happened.
I think you should probably get on the air tomorrow and call Steve up and say, Steve, buddy, how goes it? Right? So here we go. The next one is from Kathy Anderson 2 months ago, fixing a torn cushion seam cheaply.
Oh.
What do you do if the material is frayed is the question.
Well, when you have, if somebody out there could come up with, she didn't specify where the fraying was.
Well,
If
let's say it's
long
on
seam,
top.
If it's on top. The only thing you could do really, and I've done it in the past with the caveat that I'm not guaranteeing anything, but you could like a bicycle patch. Your old bicycle tires.
Right.
You clean it up. Well, you could take a muslin cloth, reverse the cushion, and put the patch on, like you can use the glue that we use, the spray glue, and patch that in the back. And reverse it. It all depends on the fibers too, the fabric.
When they say frayed, I mean this.
I mean it can be
slightly frayed versus like
I'm thinking I'm thinking something that's slightly frayed, that the threads are coming out, and then you flip it back, and you could take your regulator and take the big ends and kind of poke it through. And then the smaller portions, you could take white Elmer's glue, and of course this is dependent on the color of the fabric and everything, and dab the white Elmer's glue where the fraying is happening. That's just a quick remedy. I wouldn't do that professionally, but that's the only thing I can do. And if it's at a seam, Jimmy, your hand stitching is your best friend there.
Well, yes. I mean,
Right?
again, off and on. I need the work, man. I need the work. We gotta keep me busy. This next one is from HMCH 7102, 2 months ago. It is the Club Chair Upholstery A to Z Part 7. Do you have a section to show how to do the inside arm?
First of all, we used to do these, Patrick, these multi-parts in the YouTube. Do you remember?
And I just found that Bentwood Rocker has 3 parts that are up. They just didn't find it.
They just didn't find it. So you guys check again. So just check this one. You'll find it somewhere. I'm sure we covered that.
Well, you know what? Maybe you guys should have like a directory.
He does. You can search, right, Patrick?
Yeah,
the YouTube. You can search a channel.
Okay.
YouTube provides that. It's one of the nice things about YouTube.
They do. Okay.
They have that
I didn't
tool
know
right
if you
built
guys
in.
had to do it to kind of
No.
categorize all the.
I think you can
You can make
search.
playlists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which video is this, Jimmy?
This is the Club Chair Reupholstery A to Z Part 7, the outside arms and back.
Okay, let's see. And they're wondering where the second part is?
They're wondering, do you have a section to show how to do the inside arm?
That I'm not sure. That wasn't it was
Sometimes,
A to Z.
yeah.
So it must.
If it's an A to Z, those were hard to do. Let me tell you.
Well, you guys are professionals. Come on, man. Suck it up.
But they take a lot of time. But people say to me, "Was it worth it? Is it worth the YouTube?" Well, the experience that Patrick and Michaela have with the editing and everything, I'm sure that they can apply these skills. If anybody wants a YouTube channel, these are the people to call. But then they ask, is it monetarily, did it pay off? YouTube doesn't pay directly, right, Patrick, a lot of money. But the footprint, it's the footprint that's important. And people do find us through YouTube.
And I discovered a whole nother footprint that we have that we didn't even know about.
What's that?
I'm on Reddit, which is just people talking.
Reddit, I heard good. I've heard some things about.
And I go on there for movies and stuff like that.
And they talk about us.
And I found the upholstery one,
Yeah.
and they're talking about you. They're talking about Jimmy. They say you got to check out Broadway Upholstery.
No
the guy's
kidding.
awesome. The guy's.
No kidding.
the
It must
guys
be
are
friends
good.
of yours, Jimmy.
I have no friends. Thank you.
Someone even said. Someone even said I'm like a walking billboard for Broadway Upholstery, but they're that
Really?
good.
Well, I got that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I get that shirt on, and people say, upholstery on Broadway. I said, yes, I'm the walking billboard.
there you go.
I do not get paid.
A little shout out here. I found out that Jimmy had a hobby, call it a hobby or an interest that I never knew. Jimmy is actually a connoisseur and contributor to the arts in the Broadway, the Algonquin Playhouse. We'll call out the Algonquin Playhouse. And Jimmy was kind enough. He one of the best gifts that he ever had. Patrick's laughing for some reason. One of the best
He thinks
gifts.
we actually went on a date. That's what he thinks.
I thought you guys were going to go and have fun.
No, my
I
wife.
feel bad for Jimmy. I thought he bought the tickets and he was going to go with you.
Oh, did you really think you were coming
Oh,
with me?
no, I wouldn't go with
That
you.
was not a side.
And then-
that was an episode of Seinfeld.
And then to have dinner with you?
Well, I took
You
my
really-
wife.
Yeah, and here I am knocking on the door.
Jimmy gave me tickets to a Broadway show.
Remember, it wasn't Elaine that showed
real-
up. She showed up and she said, "Where's the?" It was one of the episodes. When
Oh.
she shows up and said, "Where's the?"
But
I didn't know I was going with you.
But he gave me these were cheap tickets, you guys. I couldn't believe it. He gifted me these 2 tickets and dinner, a gift certificate to dinner. And I'll tell you how good the show was. What was the name of the show?
Oh, you.
Crazy About You or something like that. And
Yeah.
the Algonquin Playhouse. You guys got to check it out. It's not playing now, but guess it was Sally Struthers.
Yeah, Sally
I
Struthers.
saw Sally Struthers.
See how it happened? That would be furious.
No, I know. We'll get to it, but I just want to shout because he
Well, if
mentioned
you-
Broadway, so I just wanted to say the show was so good that all of a sudden they stop, and I said to my wife, I said, "Well, I guess that's it." We got up, and nobody else was getting up, Jimmy.
Oh,
We got out to the car, and I said, "Why isn't anybody else coming?" And then I'm sitting there. We're sitting there waiting, because you can't get out because the cars are parked in front of you. And I said, I better go back there to check this out. It was only halftime.
Thank God I didn't.
Intermission.
I call it halftime.
Oh, halftime! Oh my God! You're such a theater.
I'm sure Mom was.
Look I'll tell you. My other half. If we don't go to at least.
But we went back and enjoyed the restaurant, and the restaurant was even better.
I'm sure they all looked at you, right? When you got
not really. They just thought we went to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, the gender mixing bathroom. Yeah.
You didn't have to mention that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, why don't we get back to the series?
Yeah, why don't we get back to that? So, let's see, where are we? Oh, so here we go. A ribbon chair. What is this thing? I am a designer, and for my master's project, I've created a similarly wacky armchair.
Wow.
I have some reupholstery experience, but upholstering my own design is so difficult compared to what I've done before.
Yeah.
Not a single professional wanted to touch that.
Yeah, that's
Thanks for
right.
the video.
That ribbon chair was really hot. Jimmy, I wanted to mention, it was a wild and crazy week. Now, I don't want to throw you off, but last week, or the week before, when you weren't around, Patrick, thank God, because I think you would have been embarrassed. I did, one of the projects was I did nail lists in front of coffins, for
Yes, I was there. I came in.
But then the same week, two model chairs came in. They do nude modeling on these chairs,
What?
Jimmy. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I upholstered. No, it's an art form in Boston.
Is it a special chair? Or
It's
how
called the Art.
Let's see if we can keep this together. Talking about this.
Art Academy of the Art Academy in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's all they do is nude models sit on these chairs, and I had
So
to.
you want to say?
I hope they watched it.
I had
before they brought it in.
I don't know about that, but I upholstered.
See, Michaela knows about this because they did this at the art school.
This is very tastefully done, Pat.
It's not like a. Oh,
See, here we go.
All right.
I'm surprised though they sit in an upholstery chair.
The model always brings towels or blankets or something. It's never actually on the furniture.
Thank God.
oh, you guys are just so. You guys got to get out more.
It's like
I mean, yeah, I could take Michaela to a place. She'd understand things. You guys.
She answered it so nicely too.
She did, didn't
and then
she?
We took it and
I think
ruined
that's
it.
one.
Yeah, right in the gutter.
I had so many of those classes. It's such a normal thing for me.
It's so immature, isn't it?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Sorry,
Jimmy,
guys.
start getting more mature, will you?
Blame him.
All right, what's the next
The
question?
next one is Ply Grip 101
That was
uses
a good
applications and tips. This is from Smelly Rhino Studio. Thank you so much for your video.
That ply
That
grip.
was 2 days ago.
Ply
We're
grip
finally
is
caught up here. I think
one
we're
of-
actually out of water there.
Ply grip is one of the things in upholstery that speeds you up, but you really have to know how to use that stuff.
Well, yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
we gave you a little
do.
tips on
How many videos do you have of that? Is there?
Well, you don't have to do a lot of them, but it's just the tips that you show. Each one of these, we're revealing the secrets of upholstery. We're like those
Yeah,
magicians.
but you are getting a lot of people interested in, number one, trying to fix, be it an ottoman, make an ottoman. They may
Sure.
want to, they find some wacky fabric. Let's say, for example.
Yeah, like that last lady with the ribbon chair. That ribbon chair was really hard.
And
with
you know,
piece of art, too.
you're making something, even if it's a little bit hodgepodge. You're learning. You're saying, wait a minute, if I did it this way differently this time, like anything else.
Yeah, read the next one. I want to show
The
while you're
next
doing
one
that.
is fixing a popped button for free. Again, from Davey Demore, 10 days ago. Where can you purchase a tufting needle?
We're not doing the store anymore, right, Patrick?
No, we have certain things up.
Well, I mean, it didn't take off really well. I don't even know if we're selling those anymore, but there should be kits like there's
Amazon?
Amazon or these art stores, art shops should have
Hobby
them.
Lobby.
I did want to show this project that came in, you guys. Look at that, Jimmy.
Oh wow!
Now this is a arts and crafts. I would call it arts and crafts piece, and the customer made her own needle points. Look at this, Patrick. Are you seeing this?
Wow.
She made her own needle points, and I used horsehair, and she wanted some pictures as I go along. I think that's a great picture of the horsehair with the horses. Isn't that great?
Yeah, very cool.
That's before it's stitched to hand stitch. We do blanket stitching. We do regular back stitching and things like that. It went up. So I just wanted to show that.
Well, you should mention why we're not. The thing is, you guys know the good quality stuff, and you know where to go. But the average person was still, they were using Amazon. They didn't care about these quality tools that we have.
Yeah,
so.
part of the problem was keeping things in stock too. The tools were hard to keep in stock. The shipping couldn't keep up with the shipping costs. And I know that they have apps for that and everything
But I'm going to say this: if our loyal followers, our base, they know what we had. They know what they need. If they want to come to us and buy something, we could make a custom order for them.
It would have to be something, Patrick, like a kit
That's
form.
easy.
It can't be one-off. It has to be like a kit form.
It's easy to put up, as I'm
We
saying.
could do that if somebody was interested in
Well,
buying.
I think if you, I mean, I know there is a place, I'm not sure, I haven't been down there in a while, but on the South Shore of Boston, south of Boston, there is a upholstery store. Now, this particular gentleman does not keep normal 9 to 5 hours. It's basically when you're there, if you're lucky, he's there.
So you're cheating on us, John.
Well, no, it's not me. I mean, no, this is well before you guys started this stuff, and
I'd be shocked if it's an actual store. With
well, I think I mean, it's. I don't know if there's such a thing as an upholstery store. I think
must be like
arts and crafts, like a Hobby Lobby
they
type
have,
of thing.
They have.
You know,
departments.
Michaels maybe.
Michaels would have things like that.
Our loyal following knows what we had, so if they want to.
Well, you know, you got to remember.
You
You got to remember a lot of these things that we didn't have were during the COVID time, and you know, things were shut down, and I think. You know, some hobbies, you know, lasted, others did not. But anyway.
Yeah, Malcolm says it right there. Hard to get items.
Yeah.
We did have a couple of, I think we're the only, Everybody's horse hair is still up there.
Yeah,
Somebody said we're the only place we can buy that or something
Right.
like that. So.
Well, this one is how to upholster outside back of a dining room chair. But the question is this. What kind of glue do you use in your glue gun?
Well, it's a hot glue. It's there's no specific name for that actually. Because we get it wholesale and we get it from our supplier, and there's not a brand name. But if you go to any, it's not so much the glue.
What is it?
It's the heat of the glue. It's the glue gun. So when you get a glue gun, I just bought a glue gun at one of my local this place called Playtime down the street. It's an arts and crafts store. It's important. Oh no, I got it at Ace. Hardware stores have these. Okay. It's not the glue, you guys. It's the gun. If the gun has to be hot enough to heat the glue in order to make a proper adhesive on whatever you're doing. And what you do is when you get the gun, make sure it has a high and a low setting, and make sure that you put it on the high setting. Tape it down. Don't use the low setting, because what happens is you have the idea that it's working and it's not working. You can glue a whole double welt down and then find out that the glue didn't hold. So make sure it's hot. Of course, the only problem with that glue comes out, that can burn.
Hot. You have to be
burned,
very
so
careful.
Yeah.
It's not like a,
That's why a lot of the guns that they sell in the art store, in the craft stores.
They tell you.
No, they don't sell the heated. They don't sell on the high. They sell those glue guns do not burn you, and they do not adhesive. So it's not the glue, it's the gun.
Okay. Stuffing a cushion cheaply and effectively. This is by Vicki Rogers 3 weeks ago. Great solution. This idea will help me with my lumpy back cushion on my sofa chair. Thank you.
That saves people a lot of money. It extends the life of a piece of furniture, and it makes the housewife happy, or the house husband, or the house,
So what did you do? I mean, other than she said lumpy back furniture, how did you do that? What was that all about?
I think that what that was she had semi-attached cushions, which had zippers on the bottom, which had started to sag. So the solution was to open up the zipper and take some Dacron and pull it up, or better yet, the best additive for a cushion is like a throw pillow with 50-50 down feather, because it kind of meshes in better.
Okay.
The Dacron can be balled up. I think that's the recommendation for that particular one.
Okay.
Would be the 50-50 down feather or throw pillows that are like that.
So the next one is from YouTube Kit number 7. This is Sewing Machine 101 for Upholstery. Thanks for the tips.
Oh, good.
Whatever
See, we forget all these. How many videos
This
do we
is
have?
a month
Patrick?
ago, so this is back and forth a little bit.
When you,
Yeah, no, that alone is always.
well, we have 400 videos, but you're not counting how many segments of the online classes, too.
No.
So when you count those, how many do we have?
Because we were close to
Each
500
segment.
without those, so probably 550.
That's pretty good for any channel, right, Patrick? Isn't that good for an information channel?
Yeah, now our getting stuck with not posting much stuff. We're kind of in a slow period. We're only at 25,000 subscribers. We could have been at 30 by now.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll,
Yeah,
we're
you
picking-
guys, you know, some
Yeah.
people decide to take a vacation all the
We're
time.
picking back up, so.
We should.
Caning to upholstery, the conversion upholstery and preserve your caning. What do I do if there are armrests with spindles? How do I apply the webbing across the chair?
Does she have a picture?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, I don't quite get that one.
What do I
don't
do
know
if there
what
are armrests with spindles?
armrest with spindles. I don't get it.
Well, yeah, it must be like almost a formal chair. I mean, think about a little kind of a semi-kitchen chair with a little bit of a armrest to it. I think that's
Yeah.
what she might be talking about.
She's in for a little bit of trouble there. She's trying to go over a very thin wood like
I
that.
know. Well, she
with
still thinks she.
upholstery.
Well, I mean, I'll say this: if she thinks she has to do the webbing for the arms, I think that's wrong. Correct? It's only the thing you're talking about is the seat itself. The lesson is
We're
for the
only
seat.
talking about seats and maybe backs, but seats mainly when you're talking about going over caning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you do with that lesson? You took all the caning out, correct?
You don't have to. You know, if it's with the intention sometimes is to go back to the caning, but the problem with caning is nobody's doing it
No.
properly. I mean, if you find somebody, a lot of people are just doing it with the rolls of caning, and they don't know. And refinishing caning is a real talent and really difficult to do the hand caning.
Yes.
To take that and then to finish that off, that takes a real talent. It's a process.
Well,
Not many people do it. So the idea here was you have a beautiful side chair, let's say, that's caned, and the cane is broken. It's a way to save the chair, to use the chair, to lightly. I think we show how lightly to go over it. Not a heavy upholstery treatment at all. You don't want to go too heavy on it because usually it's a fine, nice wood. You don't want to mess it up too much.
No.
And we show you how to go in the ribbing part of it or something. And it's a good video. What's the
sure?
next one?
Next one is the delivery process. This is from Adrian Ramirez. Hi there. Do you find that the type of van is good enough to transport most of the upholstery work, or do you recommend a bigger one?
You know, that's a good question because presentation. Sometimes you could be the best upholsterer in the world, and then you're delivering in a back of a pickup truck with 2 German Shepherds in there. And I knew somebody that did that. He was a very good upholsterer, but he liked to smoke, and he had 2 dogs, and he had a pickup truck.
Oh no.
That's how
no,
he
I mean,
delivered.
I like, you know what I've been seeing a lot lately, and I keep thinking of yours. Higher top. Much higher.
Well, you know what? I knew a guy that used to say to me, you should do a white glove delivery, and that's taken a little bit too far. Because you try picking up a piece of furniture with gloves. And
Oh yeah,
you're
it's
gonna
slippery.
lose it.
You do not. I
But,
think
but
that's
you
a
know,
serious
that
mistake.
said, though, I don't go that far, but I do make sure, like today, I had a beautiful white upholstered chair, a bedroom chair, that had a skirt on it, that you think I'm going to deliver that without plastic? No, and I had to prepare it to be delivered. I brought the skirt up, I taped it, I covered it all up, I had the cushions in a separate bag, a plastic
Right.
bag,
Yeah,
made
you
sure there
always
wasn't
do that.
anything exposed. But you'd be surprised how many people drop the ball with the delivery.
Oh,
and in
you
a
know what?
van-
It's always the time when you say, "Oh yeah, the delivery's around the corner, within a mile. We're good to go, no problems." And all of a sudden, there's always that one
And it's funny,
time.
there's a company called, when you're talking about designers doing design work, they have their own delivery service. It's called the Taxi, Furniture Taxi.
Oh really?
Yeah, and those guys are like well dressed. They're not white glove, but the furniture gets secured down, and they have box trucks that are wooden. You know,
Yeah.
not the metal. They're the wooden. They're older trucks, so they have the wood base,
Okay.
which is important when you're putting furniture on.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't be delivering in a Home Depot truck that the guy before you used to deliver lime
Yeah,
Loose
exactly.
lime or fertilizer
asbestos,
or asbestos. You got the next question, Mr. Asbestos?
Where am I? Let's see. We got the pop button. Okay. This is restoring a theater chair, part 3. Is it
Cool.
better to use the fake horsehair instead of a high density foam?
Fake horsehair is, you have to be
Rubberized
careful
horsehair, right?
with the rubberized horsehair. Rubberized horsehair is really only one purpose. It's to go over springs. It does better than regular horsehair. So you should use the rubberized horsehair to go over springs, and then probably real horsehair over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right,
You're
moving
doing
on.
a good job there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
know.
exhausted.
You're using your 6th grade education in a very nice way.
Yeah, next we're going to do the gazintas.
We gotta have one of
And for
those.
those of you who don't know what the gazintas are, go to the Beverly Hillbillies. They'll tell you all about it.
You gotta go on that show. You smarter than a 5th grader. See who's the smartest one.
Oh, yeah. I can see where this is going.
So what's the next one, Jimmy?
Canning to upholstery conversion. Oh, would canvas work as well as burlap?
Would canvas work as well as burlap?
Upholstery and preserving. This is the upholstery.
Yeah. No, burlap has a really purpose in going over webbing, jute webbing, and I think burlap is the best for that.
Okay.
That's what they're asking.
So the
Not
next-
good for outsides and not good for much anything else.
Okay. So again, this is canning to upholstery conversion. I have an antique bench that is beautiful, but the caning is all busted out, and it's way too expensive to fix. I am just going to rip out the caning and cover it in canvas. But I love this idea because it felt wrong to pull out all the caning.
Yeah. So what we do is try to keep it, because someday somebody might want to go back to the caning. So.
Well, I mean, with caning today especially, because I think doing it by hand, well, the way I've seen it, the way you know it, is extensive. It's time consuming. Versus today, I think they do it in sections. You can buy actually in sections and kind of do that little quick work. The last one I have here, applying trim to French chairs. Thank you so much for the tutorial. May I ask, how is the width of the GIMP, and if it should be lighter or darker, or the version of the color of the fabric?
I try to get as close a match as possible, either lighter or darker. The one I just showed you, I had sometimes you really luck out on the GIMP, and sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
It should be at least a 1/2 inch wide, and the thing about it being flat is you can take your corners better than double piping.
Okay.
Sometimes I recommend it on
Right.
antique.
Well, this is a nasty one, I can tell.
All right.
Yeah, this is from Stormy, 1945. This is the making rollover arm caps. It would be helpful if we could see how you were actually doing this. I'm just guessing right now.
I apologize. Sometimes the cameraman
I,
falls asleep.
I think a personalized note to Stormy. Yeah,
I think.
I think you guys
Yeah, it would've been
you
nice.
guys have been absent so long. I think a little bit of personal
I
touch
blame
here.
it on the camameraman. He's asleep. The cameraman was asleep that day.
You want those kind of shots? We have them on the feature them on the online class.
There you go. A little plug for the online classes. Somebody just bought a master class, by the
It's
way.
actually up
Oh,
there.
here we go. We have another one. I think this is the one you mentioned.
But to say what we do have an above view. It's right up there.
Oh yeah,
So this one's
in
from
the online class.
Alpha Renee.
Alfa
Renee?
Romeo.
Yeah. The Ply Grip 101 uses applications and tips. If you could find a way to mount your camera above your shoulder, maybe from the ceiling, it would be great. A lot of details are missed between the camera being blocked
That is
and
true.
not being close enough.
Very
That's
tough
true.
to film.
Well, we
It's
are in a
hard.
very kind of confined area, which is not
Well,
an
it's more.
excuse.
The reason it's a safety issue. Sometimes you have to be straight on in your work when you work, and it's really hard to work on the side to show people.
We've tried
Well-
GoPros. The quality isn't the maybe
GoPro's
nowadays.
not-
Well,
doesn't
you know
work.
what? Maybe you can show me how to use that. I'll do some little
Yeah, you wear the head thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just so Malcolm remembers that. It's just so shaky.
But some of the
Well, I think you got to know what Kevin would have to tell me what he's going to do and try to get the best angle. Come over
some of
here,
those
see.
thumbnails that he uses too are kind of cheap. For instance, I'll show you. He uses these. You look at this tumbleweed coming down.
Oh, I just won't give it up, Jimmy. What the? I'm using props.
You know what?
I think that's
I think I
cheap.
should give your wife a theater ticket.
Heads up!
A theater ticket, and dinner by yourself. God Almighty, you're so bad.
Oh, it was probably an embarrassing.
Yeah, I think actually, you know what? Her and Michaela should go.
Exactly.
How did that look on the camera, Patrick?
I don't know.
Hopefully, they'll blip that out. Deconstruction of a dining room chair. This is from the, let's see. Thank you. I would love the start to finish upholstery video. This is from user Whippy4. I can't remember. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Whatever.
reference back to the online classes on
Yeah.
that one.
Again, fixing the pop button for free is from Fred Sanford. Thank you.
It's another pop button.
Yeah, I mean, you
That's
guys,
the one that people are all about now.
Yeah, more thanks. Let's see. How to cut fabric around posts. You highlighted all the mistakes I made with my first chair, but now I'll do better on the second. So thank you. This is from
That was
N.
a popular
Harris,
one.
1401.
People haven't commented on that one in a while, but that was a popular when we did it. People were asking about that, and
Right. Well, you know what? Again, people want to ask them the questions, and they probably don't think you may have the video.
honestly, some of the YouTube videos I've seen, I don't comment. I just use them and move on. I think we know that from users, right, Patrick? How many users do we have?
I think a lot more people comment here and on the Facebook and everything.
Do you have any idea how many views we have on the channel? Have you added them up?
No, I can find that out
Can you
off
just-
the top of my head. No.
Can you just guess?
That'd be really hard to do.
1 million?
Uh,
2 million?
it was 1 million
On one video.
like a year ago. No, for
It's probably gone down quite a bit.
All right.
This is from Gladys Perez. This is the caught in the web of upholstery. Where can I buy webbing?
Again, you have to be careful at webbing too. You have to, it depends on what you're using it for. Seat webbing is specific.
What color
Back
is it?
webbing red.
Red.
Seat webbing's red, and the
Okay.
back.
Now,
back's
because
usually
I had
black.
green, so what was the green
I
for?
don't know what that is.
Just a different.
It's an anomaly, I guess.
Just a maker, a
I've
different
seen
maker
it
puts a
before.
different color.
I don't know if it's that the weave is tight. You could check the weave on it.
Okay. Let's see. Make something different. How to make double piping? I'm upholstering my fabric for my favorite chair, and I'm at the point that I need to sew double welts. Thank you for your help. This is from Maddie Cat, 913.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad people like that one. Don't get into a lot of sewing, but that was a good one.
Okay. And pricing in the upholstery business. You are good upholstery work I like because I'm also sofa maker upholsterer.
Keep in mind those pricing videos. You get as they get older, they're not as relevant, right? So pricing and the economy changes.
Well, right. I
Keep
think
that in
people know
mind.
that, but you go over it again. I mean, sometimes there were.
Did you finish all those, Jimmy?
Yes, but most of them
Wow,
were.
that was a
repeats.
lot.
Yeah.
How much are we into this program here, Patrick?
almost at an hour.
We gave a lot of information. Do you want to hold the Facebook until the next time?
Yeah, and I know Jean. She posted a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot there to catch up on too. I think we should wait till the next
Yeah,
time.
you gotta make sure people gotta know you guys are here all the time.
But are there
now.
any comments or
we're
questions?
back Mondays now.
Any
doing this,
any
so-
comments or questions there, Patrick? Before
I think we answered most of the stuff. Yeah, these are mostly comments. So no
All right.
questions, so that's good.
well, Jimmy, you did great today. We're going to have to give you a raise.
A raise of nothing.
We have your platform shoes ready to go for the raise. It gives you another 2 inches on your height. That's good.
Oh, jeez.
And Jimmy, now we've lost Jimmy.
Yep.
We've lost him.
And once
No,
the
we
cheesy-
had- well, I
attention
had-
deficit
once the cheesy
is.
jokes come out,
I had an incident at work today. I'll tell you guys that off camera.
All right. Well,
no. That's probably too adult themed.
No, it's work related.
Well,
By the
sounds
way-
good. We're glad to be back.
we ought to be
It's
back.
felt good to get back on here, and we're
Yeah.
excited to continue.
And we hope that we gave a lot of information this time around. And we hope we are an upholstery channel. We're not Tom and Jerry or think of another
I
famous.
think-
Abbott and Costello.
Abbott and
Chip and
Costello.
Dale.
I think there's a good mix of both. We can do both.
Ginger,
Not too
Ginger
crazy.
and Marianne. Oh, not Ginger and Marianne. Let's not do
There he
that.
goes. Off track.
Hey. Thanks, guys.
All
All
right.
right, take care.
Take it easy. Thank you. Thanks, Jimmy.
We had a
Are
gentleman.
you off?